infinite improbability drive, I appear to be a woman.
It's Saturday morning and it's time for Q&A number 42. Yeah, we finally got it. We finally got there. And we're going to kick off straight away with saying, Peter Market Trader. He said, question for next week. What is the answer to life, the universe and everything? After all, is Q&A number 42. Well, you see, I was already prepared for this, you see, because thing is, mate, I've given this a lot of deep thought, and I come to the conclusion that what do you get if you multiply 6 by 9? Huh? Because I always thought there's something fundamentally wrong about the universe. Yeah, 42, for those of you who don't know, if you've never watched Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I used to watch on the BBC and also listen to on the radio, and of course I did see the film. The film wasn't quite as good. They messed it up, I thought, a bit. But 42, I can't believe we've actually got it. Yeah. Saturday morning, it's grim outside. King Pow. Good morning. He's been having back issues and he's had a cold and he's not been himself, but he's feeling a bit better. He said, sometimes I'm flying and I see how little wilderness there is left, makes me depressed. I think my ideal world would leave at least 60 to 70% of the world in a naturally preserved state. Let it run wild. What do you think? Well, actually, Cheddar, it doesn't matter because the Vogons are going to blow the place up anyway. I mean, what does it matter? No, in fairness, no, mate, I agree with you. 60-70%. Round here, you see, it's a bit different. It's where I live here in central France. There's bugger all here. It's just like fields and stuff. Although I suppose it is mainly developed. Although there is a forest down the road, so well, that's pretty nice. But don't worry, the Vogons are coming anyway. So. Unless you get transported onto the Vogon ship and become a stowaway, they'll only throw you out the window anyway. Yeah, it's rubbish, really, isn't it? I'm not gigging tonight, which is nice. I've got the whole day to myself, and Julie's not working, so we've actually got the entire weekend free. So I don't know what we're going to do now. Probably go visiting. Okay, and then the Mercurial number 6. I don't know if you follow his channel. Watch him out. If you just Google, YouTube, the Mercurial number 6. He did a thing recently, the definitive top 20 Beatles songs. Well, obviously, he was completely wrong because he put Eleanor Rigby at number 1. That didn't even make my top 20. Intriguingly, The Long and Winding Road, which I reckon was the Beatles' best song, it didn't make it into his top 20. Who's wrong? You decide. But in fact, it's weirdly, neither of the top 3 songs that I picked and the Mercurial number 6 picked were not on each other's list. Rick Momanelli, he was asking me about, do we go to the theatre? What's your favourite kind of film to see? And do the two of you agree on this? Well, yeah, I mean, because I'm the boss, because I'm the bloke, I'm the geezer, I'm the one who says, we're going to see Star Trek, right? Like it or lump it. And off she comes. And actually, we pretty much agree on this sort of thing. Although, haven't been to the cinema for years now. Last time I was in cinema was with a friend in Eastbourne, and I went to see a James Bond film, which was brilliant. I really enjoyed that. But the theatre, of course, in England, we tend to refer to the theatre as the stage, where the thespians do their thing. Alas, poor Yorick, but I knew him well, and that sort of stuff, right? The only time I've been a few times to watch, it's always musicals. I love musicals, musicals on stage, particularly. I've been to see Buddy in London and Grease in London. I said to my mate the other day, I said, I'm going to Greece for the weekend. He said, that'd be nice. I said, not really. I'm going to grease the car. Bit of a joke there for you. Paul's Country said, question for next Saturday. Do you ever get nervous before playing to an audience? Well, it's weird. You should answer that. Ask that, really, because I'm going to answer it. Last Saturday, I was on to the way to this gig, and I thought, and I said to Julie, I said, do you know, I feel a bit nervous. And that was the first time in donkey's years that had happened. And I have no idea why. It's sort of this sudden little little flutter. It went quite quickly. Oh, first hair of the day. That went quite quickly, but it was all right. But as a rule, no, I used to be terribly nervous. And some of my friends still get quite nervous. And hang on, what's this sort of thing? This new smartphone. And I didn't realise you could do things like. I'm just totally amazed by this thing. You know, it says, "Okay, Google, what's the weather?"
Currently in Lignac it's 7 degrees and mostly cloudy.
Well,
Today, it'll be raining, with a forecast high of 10 and a low of 7.
I mean, what is that? That's like weird. I can't get my head around this. This is all new technology, and I expect everybody out there to say, "Oh, I've had that like 10 years." No, you haven't. You've had this about 2 weeks, and I still can't get my head around it. And I have because of this. I've actually bought myself one of these Alexa things. So and you can play radio. You can play anything you like. It's bloody brilliant. Do you know, I was thinking the other day. I was thinking about a question that I was asked, what was my worst job? And I had to think about this. And what it was I got this job working for an electrical wholesaler, which I'd done, which was my whole life, really. But this one particular job, I went and when I got there, I said, where's the car? And they said, well, that's it there. I said, look, it's my first day. Let's not mess about. He said, no. He said, that really is your car. And it was this old Rekor motor, and it had a hole in the bonnet like that big, rust hole. I said, you're joking? And he said, no. He said, that's your car. I said, all right. So I knew I was going to leave from that one moment, because I'd had this when I got the job. Because one of the things as a rep, you say, well, what car do I get? And you have a budget usually to spend. And they just said, they told me I could order this brand new car on the first day, and they changed their mind when I got there. You gits. That job didn't last long, and I worked next. One of the guys in the office manager, he was an alcoholic, and he used to go down the pub every 5 minutes, and it was like, and there was a pub right next door. So I'm just going to get myself a box of matches. I'm just going to go to some cigarettes. No, he wasn't. He was getting in there. He was, by the end of the day, he was absolutely wankered. He was best as a fart. And then he'd say, he was the office manager, and he said, we want a sales meeting tonight. Sales meeting? Where do you want that? Round the pub? Oh, we'll have it in the pub. You can go and stuff it, mate. And I was working for him for only about 4 months. And in the end, the regional sales director came down, and he's having a go at me. And he said, Nick, he said, he set me this task, and I had to go and do all these things in like 4 days. And he said, Nick, he said, that's brilliant. He said, I'm really impressed with you. And I said, I've got one more thing to say. He said, what's that? I said, you can stick your fucking job up your ass. I always wanted to say that, and I finally got to say it. And he got a bit stressed. You can't do that. I said, I just did. And I left, and that one I never went back. What's the worst job you've ever had? Till next week, my friends. Horns up. Might have the mic back up the other way next week. You never know. Give me more questions.
This is absolutely damning. Theresa May, you have surrendered. You have surrendered this country's voice. You've surrendered our voice.
Well, that was somebody having a rant.
Due to the infinitive improbability drive, I appear to be a woman. Due to the infinite improbability drive, I appear to be a woman.